Hey, welcome back to an episode of Tales and Tunes. I'm your host, Frankie. The track reviving us yet again. This is Setting Sail, Coming Home, composed by Darren Korb, featuring Ashley Barrett. This is from Bastion. So this actually was probably one of the first game soundtracks that kind of made me think I should start downloading a whole bunch of these because they're fucking great. But it was actually when we were driving up to Boston, I was with a friend of a friend, and he had a whole slew of fucking game soundtracks in his car back in the day of CDs, which I'm still gonna live in till I'm dead. So, but he had, we were going through a couple Final Fantasy things. He was talking about, there was a chiptunes panel that he was all excited about when we were going up there. So there was that. He had a couple chiptune albums that he threw in, and I don't remember the artists, but that kind of introduced me to that whole concept. That was kind of neat. And then, at some point he had thrown in this Bastion soundtrack, and I'm like, well, what the fuck is this? This is great. So he was saying last time, they had gone up to PAX, that Supergiant Games is up there, and Bastion had just come out not too long before that. So, they're up there selling merchandise for the game, and he bought the soundtrack. And, the Supergiant Games is not a very large studio, it's just kind of a group of friends. So, he had met, the composer and the guys that signed everything for him. I was like, that's pretty fucking cool. So that was actually when we had gone and I was, wandering around. They had a very early demo of Transistor at the show. So, that they had their merch booth up, and I saw the soundtrack. I was like, I gotta buy this. So I bought myself a copy, met Darren Korb, Greg Kasav, and a couple of the other guys. And that was pretty cool, though. It was, just this really neat thing. And then, I had that CD in my car forever. Every single car I've had with a CD player had that CD in it forever. If I lost that CD, it was in the car somewhere to be found, months later. But, yeah, so that was, it dawned on me the other day that I really haven't put a lot of Bastion music on this show, which is kind of a shame. Obviously Slinger's Song being kind of one of my favorite ones that I had on here before, but there's a few really good tracks off of the Bastion soundtrack, and this is probably one of my other favorite ones. This is actually from the end of the game. You have these two characters that are kind of, opposite ends of this, I don't want to say the wall, obviously, it's because it's, metaphorical, but, the whole game, the whole game universe, this world that, exists in, it's this world that's war torn, and you exist in the Bastion, and, it's not, everything's not great in that world. So you have these two characters that, are, kind of an unwritten love story within the game. And obviously a lot of the story in that game is kind of told through the music as you're playing through it, which I think is really cool. So, yeah, anyways, this song, I really love this song. There's a cover on it floating around on YouTube. I'll probably cheat and use to throw this on here again someday. But, that fair warning, I'll probably do that. But, yeah, it's a great song and a really cool, really great game as well. I'm sure everyone's played Bastion, so it's a good time. A lot of great music, and I'll probably go back and throw more in because I have to. I'm obligated. That's what I'm here for. So this next one is actually from one of my personal favorite movies. This is the only movie I ever remember my dad willingly going to. And we'd seen it at the drive. Did we see it at the drive-in? We might have actually gone to a movie theater. That seems unlikely. He's unlikely to go to a movie theater. It had to be the drive-in. And but it's good. The movie's gone in 60 seconds. Obviously, my dad's a huge car guy, so this was oh, okay, I'll have to go see this. And at the time, he owned a '67 Shelby GT350. So the fact that the whole premise of this movie is Nick Cage's character wanting to steal this Shelby GT500, and just that whole fucking ridiculous chase scene at the end of the movie with it. And I think that was obviously the whole draw for him. He could give a shit if he's going and spending time with his kids or anything like that. But I don't know. That movie stands out in my brain for that moment, for that reason alone, just because it is one of the rare times we could get him to do something with us. So from Gone in 60 Seconds, though, we're going to listen to the track The Last Car. Like I said, this is sort of the music that plays as he's stealing, the GT500 with he refers to as Eleanor. And most of this is just kind of playing throughout various parts of the chase, and just the insanity that code goes on because of that. So this is the last car. This is composed by Trevor Rabin. So I don't remember if I actually talked about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem when I had finally watched it. I know I've put a couple songs on here from that soundtrack, mostly because I'm still fucking blown away that it's Trent Reznor doing music for Ninja Turtles. That just blows my mind. It's so fucking great. But I don't know. So I don't know if I really talked about it before, but if I haven't, super fucking fantastic movie. It kind of blends, like the newer Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles art style, which initially I wasn't crazy about. I'm still really not, but seeing it like in an animated form in this style, kind of similar to the Spider-Verse movies, where it's this kind of more like a grittier comic book take on the art style. Like I think that makes it pop a lot better. I think the turtles and all the different characters actually look a lot better because of it. So I really hope they're doing. I thought I read somewhere they are going to do a sequel, but I really love this movie. It's a fantastic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, and if you could put aside your fucking stupid bullshit about April now being black, like fuck off first of all, but second of all, just like the retelling of that universe and just kind of establishing all these other characters outside of the Turtles, which, I know like from the outside looking in, like if you're Ninja Turtles, like you just know the four Turtles and Splinter and Shredder, but there's like this whole fucking army of, I guess mutanimals you would refer to them as, that exist in that universe, and seeing a lot of those kind of come and get their moment in the spotlight in this movie was just really fucking cool. So if you haven't watched it, highly recommend it. It's a fantastic Ninja Turtles thing that exists, and everyone should see it. So from that movie today, we're going to listen to the track Better Than Mark Ruffalo, and this is composed by Nine Inch Nails' Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. So back to putting shit on here from games that I have yet to fucking play because I'm the greatest at doing that. We're going to listen to a track from Tekken 8 on here. I do have this game. It's been sitting here. I think I got it for my birthday along with Suicide Squad. So I do want to check it out. I do enjoy the Tekken games. It's probably one of the fighting games I feel like I'm a little better at just because you're not going to do well if you button mash. It's very much a timing and patience kind of game. So that works well for me most of the time, at least a few times that I've played it with some friends. But I bought the game and I meant to play it so I could at least talk about it. And obviously I have the soundtrack or the current iteration of that soundtrack that exists because these seem like they update and then tracks disappear. And yeah, so that's the thing to worry about, I suppose. But today from Tekken 8, we're going to listen to the track Volcanic Bomb. This is the Climax version of the song because there's two versions. So don't quite know what the fuck that means. Maybe someday when I sit down and play this game, I'll have a better explanation for that. But yes, this is Volcanic Bomb. This is composed by Tekken Project Music. So one of the cool things that I got to do over the past couple of weeks, there was this Cleveland Gaming Classic, I want to say it's called. I'm probably fucking the name up. I have no idea. But it's this little gaming convention that they hold at the IX Center. And it's fucking great because, first of all, they have a shit ton of pinball tables, and your boy loves pinball. So I think it was like $30 to get in for the day. And play pinball for like fucking 2 hours nonstop because it's all free play, which is just the best. And yeah, but anyways, so I mean, there's that. They have, you know, some arcade games laying around as well, and then of course they have a bunch of different vendors and, you know, people peddling their fucking cool artwares and all kinds of cool shit like that. So kind of perused through some comic books. I picked up some cool art prints for, you know, eventually, and you know, hung out with a friend of mine that I haven't seen in forever because, you know, I no longer work in the same area as him. So that was fun too. It was kind of nice to hang out with him for the day and, you know, just sort of wander around and talk about video games. And it's, you know, like there's people that I enjoy hanging out with because it's like, despite the fact that I haven't probably hung out with him in a year, it's like nothing's changed. You know, it's like we just pick up wherever the fuck we were, wander around and just bullshit. And it's a good time. But I'll get more to the track I'm putting on here, but I have to mention, I did think about putting a song from the soundtrack on here, but quite honestly, I don't think any of them are very good. But we actually sat and played through House of the Dead 2, which is one of my favorite fucking light gun games of all time. It's just the best. The voice acting is so fucking terrible. I love it. And it's aged so fucking poorly. It's fantastic at this point. So it's one of those that's so bad that it's good kind of things. So, yeah, so that was fun. That's the first time I've ever actually played through that whole thing. So getting to do that was pretty cool. So that was neat. And like I said, I was going to put a track on here from the soundtrack, but the music in the game sucks. So, no dice, but honorable mention. You know, they did have a lot of really cool pinball tables that I've never seen before. These next two tracks I'm going to throw on here actually are kind of inspired by that. One of the tables they had was this Halo table, which I'm not a big Halo fan in the first place. But you know, it got us to talking about Halo Wars, you know, namely the second one, because I can finally fucking convince him to play that thing like fucking 3 years ago. And you know, I would argue like I don't care about the mainline Halo story arcs, like they don't do anything for me. But I shouldn't say this because I haven't played Halo Wars 1, but the Halo Wars 2 story was really fucking fantastic. I loved everything about it. And I think the fact, too, that I typically don't dabble with real-time strategy stuff. You know, I'm more of like the XCOM style of strategy game person, so this was kind of an out of my comfort zone game. But playing through it for the story was worth it, and not only that, it has a lot of fucking great music that I am terrible and haven't put on the show. Maybe I have. I take that back. Maybe I've put one track on here before. But this is probably my favorite one. If I'm not mistaken, this was like the main menu music. And if it's not that, then it's very early on in the game. It's like one of the first pieces of music you hear in this game. It's so fucking good. But the track we're going to listen to from Halo Wars 2 today is titled Cratered, and this is composed by Gordy Haab, Brian Trifon, and Brian Lee White. I figured doing these like fewer and far between that maybe my voice would hold up better for the fucking 10 minutes of talking I actually do on this thing, but not so much. It's kind of annoying, honestly, but whatever. So this next one I want to throw on here, kind of because we're finally in October, and I don't know if I'm going to throw together a Halloween episode this year or not. I'm going to try to, but on the off chance I don't, I had to do something Halloween-y for October. But also, there was this really fucking cool Ghostbusters pinball table at that gaming expo that, of course, I didn't get to play. I'm fucking waiting to play this thing, and every time we come back over there, someone else is on it. It was one of the only two that like consistently had people playing it, and I was disappointed that I didn't get to. So, a lot of other cool tables I got to play on, though. So, I mean, that was kind of checking the table out. Like, it looked fucking cool, and I'm terrible at pinball. I'm there for a good time, and that's all it is to me. But, you had like a lot of the people on there, like actually high score chasing and shit. So I was like, fuckers. But, the track, I'm throwing the Ghostbusters theme on here. However, this is kind of like an alternate version of it. So this one's, it's called Ghostbusters. This is the real edit. So there was a cartoon. Obviously, there was the real Ghostbusters, first of all, which one of my all-time favorites. And, that has kind of its own version of the Ghostbusters theme. And then I want to say it was the mid-90s. They came out with a show called Extreme Ghostbusters, which was a new squad of more ethically diverse characters as Ghostbusters, and you had Egon was kind of like the tie to the Ghostbusters universe. Was like, okay, well, Egon's gonna be like kind of their mentor, and walking them through catching ghosts and doing the job and all that shit. So I think Janine actually is in there as well. I could be mistaken, but I thought she maybe came back too. But point being, they did this really cool version of the Ghostbusters theme for that show that never got properly released, which fucking sucks. But the fella who does the vocals for it, his name is Jim Cummings, just has this really cool gravelly voice that just fucking goes so great with this song. And, the TV version, obviously was, in my opinion, musically really, really cool. I kind of prefer that one, but, unfortunately this is as close as we got to any kind of actual release of it, which I swear to God I had a version of this song somewhere on one of my old hard drives that's forever lost to time, obviously, but the shit that exists on the internet back in the day that I feel like you just can't find now sucks. So anyways, so we're gonna listen to, this is Ghostbusters the real edit, performed by Jim Cummings.
Is there something strange in your neighborhood? Something strange in your neighborhood. Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters. If there's something weird and it don't look good, who you gonna call? Ghostbusters. That's right. I ain't afraid of no ghosts. Afraid of no ghosts. Check it out. If you're seeing things running through your head, who can you call? Ghostbusters. An invisible man sleeping in your bed. Oh, who you gonna call? Ghostbusters. Let's do it.
getting back to strategy games for a minute, I wasn't massively huge on them for a very long time. It wasn't until Battle Chasers that I kind of 180'd on them and was like, okay, yeah, no, these are actually fucking great, because I feel like I have to be kind of smart to do them. So, I kind of started dabbling with a lot more of them. And, as Short Pause was kind of coming to an end, there was a game coming out called Desperados 3 that there's a developer called Me Productions was doing. They'd done a couple other games I thought were really cool, namely The Last Tinker, which is kind of this Ratchet and Clank-esque, adventure game. And what the fuck is that other one? Blades of the Shogun, I think, is the other game that this Desperados 3 is kind of in that vein of their take on strategy games. So it's not quite real-time strategy, but it's also not quite XCOM strategy, if that makes any sense. Don't know how to explain it. And quite honestly, I need to go back and finish this game, because I think I got halfway through it and then just fell off of it. Probably because of work. I always blame work. That's typically the problem. But anyways, it's really cool Western strategy game. So if you're into those, I recommend checking that out. So from Desperados 3 today, we're going to listen to the track High Noon. This is composed by Filippo Beck-Picos. right, before we head out this week, thank you guys so much for tuning into an episode of Tales and Tunes. If you like absolutely any of the tracks that you heard on today's show, if they're commercially available to purchase somewhere, there is a link in the description wherever you're listening to the show. If you have any requests, I suppose you can reach out to me on Twitter, X, whatever the fuck we're calling it these days, at Viperstrike, VYPRSTRYKE. Just send me a YouTube link with the track that you want me to put on the show. Tell me why I like it so much, and we'll enjoy it with you. So the track we're heading out with this week is actually from the latest movie that I got to go see, The Wild Robot. So this is, if you're not familiar with this movie, I actually had seen a trailer for it when I went to see Beetlejuice with my uncle, which I'll next time. I'll get to that next time. You know, so it's this movie about this robot that's kind of left in the wilderness. She's like one of those like helper bots or something, kind of like in the vein, not too different from like WALL-E, I guess, maybe a little bit. It's DreamWorks, so obviously not Disney. But so this robot's kind of like trying to figure out who sent her to, you know, assist with whatever. So she's kind of meeting all these different wildlife creatures and pissing everybody off in the process because she's this massive robot just fucking everything up. And, you know, she kind of happens upon this little duck that, or goose or whatever the fuck he is, that should probably not have survived. And, you know, obviously it hatches, sees her, and assumes, oh, that's my mom. So, you know, so it's this really heartfelt movie about, you know, Roz kind of raising and learning just about all the different wildlife creatures that are around her, and adapting to her surroundings. And it's a very, very endearing movie. I'd recommend it. If you got kids, go see it. If you want a movie that's just kind of a movie to watch that you kind of feel like nice about, it's good for that too. But yeah, plus too, it was really cool because I got to go see it with someone really fucking sweet, so that was great. So I'm very excited about that. But yeah, so we're heading out this week with the track Kiss the Sky. Again, this is from The Wild Robot, and this is performed by Maren Morris. So you guys enjoy this track, and I'll see you sometime again eventually for another episode of Tales and Tunes.
The unfamiliar road could be the same place you get lost and find yourself. There might be bumps, there might be bruises, but at least you'll have a story to tell. Time will slip on by if you're stuck in living life with too much caution. And I know you know that those wings, they were made for walking. Oh, it's safe where you are, but safe only gets you so far. What if you look your fears right in the eye? Say you'll see them another time. What if for once you can find a piece of you that you've been hiding? You've been hiding. What if you chase your heart out to the edge? Rewrite your stars and be brave instead. What if you jump? Darling, if you try, you just might kiss the sky. Ideas coming to you like a spark that starts a fire in your mind. But ideas can only burn you if you always keep them locked up inside. Time will slip on by if you're stuck in living life with too much caution. So go out in this world and get every single thing you ever wanted. Oh, it's safe where you are, but safe only gets you so far. What if you look your fears right in the eye? Say you'll see them another time. What if for once you can find a piece of you that you've been hiding? You've been hiding. What if you chase your heart out to the edge? Rewrite your stars and be brave instead. What if you jump and the falling feels a little like you're flying, like you're flying? Oh my darling, if you try, you just might kiss the sky.